Hola. Perhaps if I press the right button. There we go. Hola, chat. Welcome to Risky Rollers. We'll do some hobbying. It's a Sunday. It's wet outside. Hopefully it's a few people that want to come and hang out today. We've got something I've been talking about for a little bit, which is doing a bit of white paint work today. If you like what we do, press the buttons. Where's the buttons? There's the buttons. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Help us stay above 3,500. We've been hovering there for a little bit. It'd be cool to get to 4. Help us do that. We're just doing I'm doing a bit of mental relaxing prep for next weekend. We look at a lot of lists and stuff like that. And, I think it's time to do something that's a little less heavy on the old scone. Let's get some music back going so that I don't feel like I have to talk all of the time. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday if you're in Australia. Yeah. Was at the hall yesterday, testing out some new gear. Dalton had a Blood Bowl event. That was cool. It was crack-lacking. We got some new. Don't want to give it away, but got some new gear that we were testing out for next weekend for ANZTC. So that's cool. We what else is going on? We having a look at some radicalism lists, which is kind of cool. There seems to be some spicy things in there. I think the guys are gonna Ed and Lawrence are gonna have a look at some radicalism stuff on Wednesday, which will be cool. Hopefully you guys will enjoy yourself over there. It's like 120 odd people and it's cracking. I am for you, Hamilton, sad that I am not in fact going, but I'm happy that I will be at ANZTC hanging out with some people I don't get to see very often, which is cool. So what are we doing? All right, got some people filtering in. Take a little while for everybody to filter in when I do these. They're a little bit short notice. So, make sure you get some water. You're going to need something to do some dry brushing. We're going to got a couple of techniques we're going to do today. I've got my necrosaur here that I'm going to use as a bit of an example for a very quick battle ready version. And then we've got some dry brushes, some big fat dry brush. We might use some of them detail a little bit. We'll see how we go. See how long this takes. As you can see on my my Necron scheme, I have very dirty white as the Necron body. Where am I going to put this in? Let's see. Over here, behind the water, in front of the water. There we go. We've got a Sposs Marine that is ready to go. I think we'll use this for a little bit more of a little bit more of a showcase of the technique that I normally describe to people when they say that they're going to do white. So I got my cheat method, and I got my little bit more better effort. Again, this is not sponsored. This is just something I'm doing for funsies. These are all my models. These are all my paints. These are all my brushes. I've paid for all of them. So, yes. So these aren't, any of these techniques and stuff are all stuff that I just do at home off my desk. Although, if you do want to sponsor me, I have some available space. Might even have some available space if I get rid of some of this backlog to maybe even commission a hobby time single model or something like that if you guys are interested in that. Alright, I did forget to get one paint. One sec. Oh no. Plastic thingy. We have some paper towel. We do. Is a decent paper towel. Oh, it's pretty cheap. Paper towel. Are your football teams winning today this weekend, chat? Let me know. If you got questions and stuff, happy to take questions and chat, hang out while we do this. Keeps it, you know, a little bit more engaging, I guess. Let me just check to see that. Oh yeah, sounds alright. Okay. There. Sick. So. Hola! Al's in the house. So we're going to start on this one because there's a step here that takes a little bit of time to dry. So my hair dryer's over there, nicely plugged in. So we're going to start on this one, and then we're kind of doing two things at once. Tunes are a touch loud. Oh, tunes are a touch loud. How's that? Let me know. Oh, look. Let's see if I can type. Beautiful. All right. So, there's two cheat ways that I like to do. There's my formula for my Necrons that is super quick and dirty. If you're doing a display piece or something that you want to put a bit more care into, I would not do this technique. But if you have to do like some units and stuff fairly quickly, or you know, in a couple of hours, this works surprisingly well. And then we've got something that's a little bit more batch job. Have two things on the road. Hey, Jason. Have two things going at once. I like to have... It's going to sound a little bit counterintuitive, but I like to have something I can do in the middle of waiting things to dry and stuff. There's a little bit of OCD efficiency there. So we're going to do both at the same time and try not to stuff it up. All right, so this is just an undercoat job. So in the last video, we talked about undercoating, priming. So this has been primed with black, with Vallejo black. And then this has been Zenithal primed with Gracia. I love Zenithal. I always do Zenithal because I love the sketching, even if I'm going over the top of it. But it's a really good first step if you want to cheat white. Never use white for your Zenithal. Never go straight white. That is, some people use an ink to do it. If you're using ink, it's a little bit different because the pigment behaves differently. But I never go straight white. You want a little bit of off-white. I use either Gracia type white, which is a bluey grey, or Wraithbone, which is the warm version, right? So this is Gracia, so it's going to be a cold version. This one is Wraithbone actually, so there's a little bit creamier when you end up doing all the touch-ups and stuff. So what's the first step? So you can see that we do green shoulders, so I'm going to do them as well just to give you a bit of an example. But when you zenithal, overspray is a thing, and you're going to overspray into the crevices. You can't avoid that. So what I like to do here is do a shade step now. That helps just tone the zenithal black undercarriage to the white. It makes it less stark difference. And with a spray can, you often get this, I don't know if you can see it, but it's almost like a stippling type effect. The shading helps disguise that a bit. Hey, Mr. Charlie's in the house. How you going, sir? So, we get a giant fat brush. We get that wet. You find your favorite shade color. It could be contrast as well if you use a really light contrast. But you could do a if you wanted a brown shade, you could go Agrax. But I'm gonna go straight for the null oil. Let's see if I can not spill this all over myself while I try to do this on camera. And we're just going to null oil it because we want to define those top bits better. Null oil does take time to dry, which is why I like to also do it early, put it aside, do something else in the middle. Never hair dry null oil or shade because it goes really weird. I would never hair dry contrast either, but contrast dries quicker. You can hair dry acrylic, which I'll show you when we do this, just to get the drying done quicker. Yeah, don't hair dry this step because it will make it come out funky, which is why I'm doing it first and now. What's everybody painting? What are you hobbying today? You doing hobbying? Tell me what's going on. Let us know. Doing all the null oil cause I'm cheating. Cheating. There's nothing. Oh, if anybody tells you that like finding cheap painting steps is bad and wrong and you shouldn't do it, go tell them to get a life because they obviously have way too much time on their hands. As we say on the rollers, getting your models to a position that you're happy with and getting them on the table is the most important. If you take a few cheat steps on the way to get there, then that's fine. I'll even put this on the underside. Again, we're trying to just blend our zenithal undercoat a little better. Especially on the bits that are going to stay white. And don't be afraid to mush it everywhere. Taking a small break from the bastard goblins, putting together a Gundam. Oh, some Gunpla. Yeah, Gunpla is dangerous. I've done one Gunpla. I haven't painted it, but I have done one Gunpla, and it's very addictive. So you just need to be. I can't have more than one addictive hobby at a time, otherwise my brain explodes. So yeah, but Gunpla's cool. It's a different style. It's much more mechanical, much more cathartic, I find too. It's a little Lego-y. It's got the same kind of similar thing that you get going on when you're doing, you know, the not paint by numbers, but it's like build by instruction, which can be quite yeah, good sometimes. Furnace Marine Sergeant. Nice. You're doing a bit of Forge Father action? Is it for Forge Fathers or is it for something else? From the Pile of Shame. Had an old starter set. Yeah, nice. There you go. Maybe that's a Salamander's army in the making. I do love a bit of green. What I also like to do too is once I've kind of done the first like pass, I like to go in and just like scoob the like. This is the technical term, chat. Scoob the Scooby bits. Just like push the pools of shade around. It just helps to keep it like from not drying weird and drying a little bit more easily, like evenly. Because you kind of you want it to pull, but you want it to pull in the right spot. The other thing you can do is, if you get in a stubborn area, is wick your brush a bit. So like load it with some water and get some of the null oil out and just desaturate that pool. Desaturate that pool a bit. See how like on this one here, we've got that pool of null that's kind of creeping up out of the shadow. We can kind of mess that. Get rid of it a bit. Use the water to break the surface tension of the of where the shade hits. If there's a big flat bit that you want to keep, like there you go, just on the top of that claw there. I know it's a little bit hard to see. I'll get the faces out of the way because the camera. You know. It's not going to focus on this guy because it's so white. Just be careful of spillage. When you do this too, you'll get run off. I think it's really fun. All the joints are mechanized. I won't paint it, just weapons. Yeah, nice. All right, so we're gonna let that sit there dry. Now you can see some more detail. See how these recesses are much more pronounced now, especially on the tail, for where the paint has kind of sat on the top. More will move and dry off as it dries. So this is kind of where you let it sit a little bit. Now, the good thing about doing the null oil at this stage is that you, if it's in a place that you don't like it, you can paint over the top of it because you haven't done any of your layers yet. So you establish your shadows first, and then you can go back in and do your other stuff. Yeah, so you want a light zenithal, you don't want a white zenithal, and then null is to define the... yeah, basically, because it gives you a result that... and I don't want to spoil it, but you effectively could almost, like, that's almost painted. Like, that white is almost battle ready, effectively, right, at this stage. You can then go in and highlight that as much or as little as you like. I tend to then go in and do a highlight pass just on the top, and I'll show you how that kind of rolls when that's dried. Like, you don't need to overthink it. White on, if the model is, the army is kind of like a more dirty scheme, it's not super clean, you can be dirty with the paint job, right? Yeah, it can sometimes not hold up depending on the model. Like, it won't work, it wouldn't work as well on the Space Marine armor plates because they're too flat. It's the same reason that contrast doesn't work. It is harder to get done well on something with big, flat, clear lines. But we're going to have a crack. So, yeah, all right. So what do we need? So this one has a blue undercoat. Now, the undercoat on this is a lot lighter, but when we put the dark on it, sorry, when we put the white on it, or the lighter colors, because it is such a darker color than the white we're going to put on it, it's going to look a lot darker. It looks really bright blue now, but when you go in with the dry brush, it'll just look like shadows. But the really cool thing is that what the blue will do, and it kind of looks aquary on the camera, but it's actually like ultramarine blue. It'll give the white a cold feel. So this is a color I would do if I was going for cold. If I was going for a warm color, I would use a brown or a red, something in that vein, because they will make the whites, and then that would make the whites warmer. So you would go from like a brown to a Rakar flesh to a white wraithbone to a white, to a light white. Never white. White should only ever be for like just the tippy top. spoiled for choice with army choices and textures apart from departed admech cloaks. Yeah, pretty much. This technique works really, really well with stuff that has a lot of organic detail. It's the same with contrast. It's the reason that contrast works really well with stuff with a lot of organic detail. All right, so it's not particularly scientific, but what we're going to do is we're going to start with a dark. We'll probably go very similar to the way that we did the contrast undercoating for Kanakvar in the other episode. Funnily enough, you kind of want to do a similar thing, except we're going to go lighter instead of then doing a slap chop for in the Kanakvar video. It was like a slap chop highlight dry brush to have Black Templar put over the top of it. We're going to do a slap chop dry brush paint to keep it white, basically. And you'll see that we go up lighter, and then we're going to tie it back down so that we can do a highlight. All right, big fat brush again. Kind of hard to stick the big. This works well if you've got a dropper bottle. Where you can drop a bottle onto the brush. Need that over here. Ew. Alright, so sometimes this happens, chat, when you're using null oil. You can never stay clean when you're using null oil. Alright. Got my handy dandy texture. We're just gonna, again, prep our dry brush. Particularly, we've still got quite a lot of left on that dry brush. Not enough. Not enough. All right, we're just going in, chat. Just going in. Just going in and dirty. Bucket. Marge. Get in and just get in on that. You can see how unceremonious I am being with this. Let the paintbrush, let the dry brush get into all the bits, all the bits. Right, like use it to tell you where it can hit, when it can't hit. And then make sure you're just doing that when you look at it from the top, that's like there's no, that's where you don't want to see the blue necessarily, is directly down from the top. What you want to see, you want to see the blue from below, because that's where your shadows are, right? So that's why the dry brush works well for this. A little bit more in there because you can see it a little bit too well. Now, you can see some blue coming through. That's what I mean by it's going to continue to keep the paint underneath. Is going to continue to keep the color cold. But we're going to keep layering on Zenithal style. So kind of slap choppy in style. So what you could do then is like put this down. Go doing your first batch of 5 dudes or whatever. Don't do too many at a time. People do like batch jobs, like crazy mofos do like batch jobs of like 50 dudes, or I would be no more than 10 ever in a batch job. Do I want to get rid of this yet? No. Oh, hello. Aaron is in the chatters. Taking a house break. Serial, trying to learn white. Yes. I am doing some hobby time. Well, I mean, I'm cheating. You can see what I'm doing. What are you doing? Yourself a hairdryer, chat. Legally distinct victory card. Why is it legally distinct? Just like be illegally distinct like everybody else does. I'm gonna do another layer of this spray. I got a little bit of paint left on this. Tricks guard. I want them to look like silly Raven Guard Salamander abominations of homebrew faction. Oh, yes. Oh, as in, like, fictionally legally distinct. So that you can use them for a bunch of things. I get it. It's like how sometimes the Sword Brethren are legally distinct from Victory's Honor Guard. And I've seen them as Deathwatch veterans too, because they got hammers. Yeah, fair enough. You can get some fairly cheap, like secondhand BGVs. Wink, wink. All right, we'll let that one. No, we'll hair dry it again. All right, first grey layer, and then you can see that, you know, if we compare it to the white paper, still very grey. All right. All right, next we're going to take a spoonful of sugar and give this a shake. Now, we've got this Space Wolf Grey, which is a nice bluey grey. And what we're going to do is, once we get some of this off, I'm just going to pick up just a smidgen of that. Now, one of the other tricks is that when you're layering dry brushing, slightly less harder in the dry brushing than you want to do the step before. So you work your way up and do a lighter and lighter and lighter dry brushing. Wait, I was tabbed out. Spoonful of sugar, actually. The very real science of... I have no idea what you were tabbed out watching. Were you tabbed into the right chat too? You said something about spoonful of sugar. I did not. But that is interesting. You might as well. You quite possibly could be. All right. We're already looking like we are cooking with gas. I actually don't think we even need to be going any higher. Like, you can see that looks so much wider. Like, if you scrub back and have a look at what that looked like, it is already so much. It's almost wider than the Necron, right? Let's just get that a little bit. We might need another pass of that. We might mixing a little bit of white just into our dry brush to pick that up a bit. Now we need to bring up the opacity of that white. So this is where and then what we want to do is just going to, I don't really have a good blue off white. I'm going to put a little bit, just a smidgen, just the smidgen, bare smidgen. And we're just going to work that into the dry brush, just to give it a slight shade higher white. Dry brush is a little bit too wet. All right. Concentrating on the toppest, most top red. I'm going to set that on the top because I want to do a little bit here. Now that we've got this, what we can do is give it a bit of a zhuzh. No, it's still wet. Still wet. All right. Back to the hairdryer. Hey, Jack. How you going, mate? So, saith AI slop thumbnail. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Just let that dry. Finishing off some Hearthguard for Radicalism. Nice. Reject negativity. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Ryan Jones. Yeah, that guy was getting a swift time outing. Hashtag didn't rip anybody off. Yeah, pretty much. I think it's a bot, but like... I have the power. I can press the buttons. So I think if I wasn't doing this for a demonstration, there's a little bit of like, texture, I guess, more than I wanted on the shoulders, but that's pretty good. I mean, that's like, as you can see, in terms of white tone, like that's white. It's really hard to see because the camera doesn't like picking it up, right? Drunk on power, I wish. Just the drunk bit, not the power bit. It's actually quite a lot grayer than white, right? But it reads white because we've done all of the colors underneath that are going to power and null oil. Yeah, that's right. Now, we've got our white base, right? So now we're good. So this is going to be our base that we're going to work from while Mr. Necrosaur is drying. Now, some might say that's 18 servitors left to pay for radicalism. You poor man. Now, I'm not going to put... I just spent all that time layering up that white, right, effectively grey. I am not going to put null oil on that because the problem with null oil is it's just going to stain everything on the surfaces, and we don't really want that. So, well, how do you fix that? White contrast. So the contrast in here is dark enough that it will settle in the recesses and give you definition that looks white. You don't have to do this step. You could do also go back kind of with the bluey, mix some blue and black shade and like pin it in the recesses. But I am lazier than that. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to use a contrast so that contrast helps tie all the layers in together. Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to put the contrast in, and you can see the contrast is quite grey. So we're going to use the contrast to tie in our dirty layers. And we're going to wipe it down a little bit with the... wipe it down a bit from the big spaces so that it's not pulling as much. So we go in with quite a bit of water actually for this. Start on the backpack. Always start on the back of the legs or the backpack just to make sure that like what you're going to do is actually going to work. Beautiful. It doesn't really matter which type of contrast. You could use the army painter one or the, you know. And this is just going to give some definition into the recesses without like ruining all of the white. It'll also sit up on some of the areas that you were the dry brush couldn't quite hit as well. And again, kind of like the null oil, just like move it around, make sure it sits in some good spots. So you kind of go a little bit lighter than you want, so that you can kind of pull it back down again with the contrast or the shade. Hello, Mr. Whedon. How are you? I'll get rid of that. Hopefully you might stop focusing on. Come on. There we go. So you can see that Apothecarium, what's it called? The white contrast is now settling into those shadows that we'll let that dryeth for a bit. What are you up to, Tom? So we now have to let that contrast dry. Do some green. Still getting all over my hand. What is that, Necron guy? This is Necrosaur Dinosaur, or Necrotar Amatamasu, or Necrosaur Amantar. I'll get his name right. He's like Luminor Xeris' like ugly brother. Like if Luminor Xeris was like one of the Mancers, right? Like a big giant Technomancer. This guy is like a giant named Scorpec Lord. No, that's incorrect, Tom. It's Necromunda Amistorius Dinosaurus. Necrosaur Amateur. Yeah, that's right. I like that. Work out what to make yellow on this, because his like cartouche stuff. So like if I look at this guy, my lord, like I do the cartouche and stuff yellow, but this guy doesn't really have one. Do I make maybe his claw yellow? They can have a big, you know, because I like that was supposed to be some gold bull weapon, I guess. When he commands enough, he'll be Necrosaurus Rex. Yeah, he's doing his, he might fall apart before he's Necrosaurus Rex. I don't know, chat. I don't know. Well, there's another bit that we can do on here, which is the parts that will be. Maybe I'll do like, so the gun knives. You know what? We'll do the gun knives. The blue, and we'll do his hand. We'll do his hand gold, and we'll do his claws the blue. And his tail claw. Yeah, he's got weird. He's got like gun gauntlets and like fist gauntlets. So he's got like all and tail. So he's got like all of the weapons. How do I feel about the new terrain rules? I think I'll have to feel. It's a hard thing to have feelings about because the terrain rules are now linked to how primary is scored, because primary objectives are now in terrain, and the detachments tell you what primary you're going to have. So they've laid a few of the interactions, which make it hard to judge without playing on it. I think the layouts, they're better than the GW layouts. It'll be interesting to see what WTC do. but it's very much like all of the terrain is in the middle, and like sometimes you're going to walk forward and get the points, and then you're going to be able to be shot. Sometimes people are just going to have, I think, fast, good guns are going to be really good, like short range. Something where you can like drive up inside of the new 15 inches and shoot somebody dead is going to be good. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just see what it looks like. Yeah, combat infantry is going to be a thing on GW now. They've kind of taken it back the other way a little bit. This is really dirty. Okay. Quick, yellow. Start with pink. For most of my stuff on my Blood Angels, I will do pink. We'll start with pink, and then go over the top of that. So we're just going to a little bit of clean water. Music stopped, chat. Right when I wanted to concentrate on what I was doing. I loosely read it all looked dents remind me of some UK. Yeah, the long and the long and thin pieces do very much remind me of UKTC. So like it'll be interesting to see if that was the inspiration or not. Because they were allegedly trying to make it WTC friendly, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, that pint's got to dry. The last game I played into Elder, I literally said, "So if I stand here, does it help?" Well, I mean, as a Blood Angels player who had to play a lot of GW recently, the answer is no, it doesn't help, especially into Tau at the moment. Missed a spot. Play Ox, believe you're winning, believe you won, and you won regardless of whatever the other player says. Well, that's pretty much just how this game works anyway, right? Because it's not like you can just say that you won and you just believe, and then you just believe and manifest. See, the problem is if you just start doing that, you're just going to start manifesting like Cork and Mork all everywhere, and then you're going to get in trouble. I'll be back, chat. I was on mute. I've been on mute for like 10 minutes. We got some color on that dude, which is awesome. The contrast is dry to the touch now on the top in the on the Space Marine. If I just, we'll go back quickly, like that's white, right? When in comparison to the paper, it's pretty dark gray, right? But in comparison to something like red, it's reads white. So that's kind of what we're going for. We're going for dark enough that you can highlight and have shadows and have interesting contrast colors, but not white enough that like it looks like the paper and it's just flat, right? White can look very flat. So we've got our marine. We've got some nice contrast in the let's see if I do this. There we go, it's better. So you can see that like in the crest and in the recesses of the armor, that what's it called? Yeah, apothecary white contrast has settled in nicely into those recesses and given us some definition and melded those shadow colors together. Now we need to give it a pop color, right? So we have currently all cold colors on this, right? So it's all cold colors. No, actually, if I do that, just okay. There's no cold colors. Sorry, it's all cold colors. We got a prime blue. We then went to a gray, a codex gray. We then went to a space wolf gray, which has got a bit of blue tinge in it. And then we mixed just a pigment or so of white into that space wolf gray to give us that top color. We're not gonna. We'll do some brush highlighting, but we need some pop color first on this bad boy. So let's keep the theme together. So your pop color needs to be warm. Don't have a pop a color that is you don't want your like tertiary color to be in the same hue or warmth value as your rest of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use red, because if I took, say, where's my three colors? Red, blue, and yellow, right? That's a color wheel, right? Hey, Black Sword Vids. I'm going good. How are you? What are you hobbying today? Quick color theory time. So if you pretend this is the color wheel, inside here we have like purples, out towards the middle where we have, pink, purples in this side, greens in this side, oranges in this side, right? So that's orange, right? So pretend like, color wheel, right? You don't want, if all your colors are in this hue for your base, right? Where you're all bluish tinge, which is our colors are bluish tinge. You don't want your feature color. I wouldn't go and then do blue as a feature color on this model. because it'll all just look the same. It'll start melding together. So you need to have the best way to have a pop color or a feature color is to pick from the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to go red, right? Now this just happens to be why white scars look so fetching, because white scars actually adhere to the color wheel. And also, I like red. I play in a lot of red. Blood Angels are red. And then what else we'll do is we will go green for the lenses. And I got a nice fetching fluoro green here that we'll do for the lenses. And so let's get some red. We've got Blood Angels Contrast and Mephiston. So let's get some Blood Angel Contrast on this sucker. Blackbeard's not doing much, working on my custom chapter. Was hoping to get the army done in time for ArcFest. But now that I won't make it to play in the tournament, sucks. I'm just going to enjoy playing them. Well, that's great. That is a good attitude to have. Plans seldom, best laid plans seldom work out the way that you want them to. So I'm glad that you're, enjoying and making lemonade from the lemons, as they say. This brush has nearly carked it. It's got a mighty bend on it. But we're going to use it here because I think it's still fine for this contrast. All right. So we've got a couple of sections that we're going to do red. We're going to do this this shield here. We're going to do the crest. And we're going to do this. We'll do this arm cresty thing too. And we'll do this big bit on the top part of the shoulder. Canadian mech in Mexico. Yeah, that's the tournament scene here in Australia is pretty good. Coast to coast. We don't get anywhere near the numbers that you might get in the UK or America. So like our big events tend to be like 100 or so people. We've got an over 100-person event happening next weekend in Victoria, which is the state where I am now, which is quite cool. Risky Rollers also do a 100-person event later in the year, which is pretty fun. But because we have to travel so far, it's kind of hard to travel. It's hard for people at the moment to travel for hours in a car to go to an event for 20 people. So it can be difficult, but it's just been getting a bit more and more people since COVID. Like more and more people. One of our biggest problems is finding events to hold everybody, which is a good problem to have. But yeah. Yep. The time to learn the 11th edition rules is good. Where are going to put this? Okay. We're not going to overload too much. We're going to do this one first. I always like doing the hard bits first. Try and drag. Nearly split that. Side. So you can tell that, like, when I was doing the sloppy stuff before, I was kind of doing it a little bit like one-handed. Now for this stuff that's quite detailed, I need to anchor my hands together and just take it slow. This is where a good folder comes in really handy. Being able to do like a little cross-hand grip to increase your stability is really, really handy. And I would always, if you can, drag down. Don't push up. And especially with contrast, you can kind of dab a bit. You don't need to make big strokes. You can let this paint kind of do the work for you. Yeah. Holy poppin', Batman. Look at that. Hold on. There you go. Getting some action now. Alright, let's do that. The only tricky bit with this bit is that you have to take your time, because it is extremely hard to clean up red on white. We might do this backpack circly bit too. Nice. Oh, Black Sword Vix. Vic. Yes, we Risky Rollers host many events. We have a full calendar of events that we hold in Victoria, mainly in Melbourne and the southeastern eastern suburbs. Sometimes a little bit north of Melbourne, but mostly in that region. Go to Risky Rollers event, riskyrollers.com.au. There's a bunch of tickets. Have a look at in the VODs. There's a bunch of events if you want to see what our events look like. You can watch me and Lawrence commentate some. So yeah, go and check them out. Yeah, my butt plug handle is the older one. Is the I think it's pre 2020. It's a big, it's more like an egg. I got these. I've had these for a while. You can get Artist Opus do some larger Egger ones, which are quite good. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, you just need something that you can and quite often I actually hold it a lot on the top, so that I can create a platform to paint on. Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely within range of the events that we do. So, yeah, would be keen to have you along. All right. So, what else are we going to do on this today? Okay. So this is a good. This will be a good thing. So we've got a purity seal. Now, what I could do is actually Agrax. All right, we've already got a white undercoat on that purity seal, so I'm not going to bother undercoating it in a white. We're just going to go in with some Agrax Earthshade, and put some tone into this purity seal, just like that. Get some of the excess, because really we just want to stain it a bit, so it sticks out because it's a different color tone. Next. We have some leather. No. Turquoise. Un momento. Alright. I'm gonna do some wildwood for some leather. yeah, go check it out. We do a whole bunch of whip. There's quite a bit of hobbying that goes on in there, which is cool. What's the next cheat? Silicon. Silicon grey. Defrost in the fridge, Troy. Want to be doing the incursor units and infiltrators for play and kill team, chasing pink gamers for grass. Pink gamers grass for bases for some necrons. Yeah, nice. Thanks, mate. Have a good one. pink for the back pewtery seal, just so it looks different from the red. Try to get in those eyeballs, huh? Now, because our eyeballs are already white, there's really not much point in putting something in underneath the eyeballs. Brush no good. Getting out the other brush. All right. Something that I have a tip on. All right, ready to go. Okay. Watch me stuff the eyeballs up. Hey. Some green eyes. Steady, steady. It's almost 12:30 a.m. Get to bed, sir. Have a good night. It is already the Sunday there, so happy Sunday when you get up. This contrast is now, the red contrast is now bright, so we'll go in and do a bit of, give that a bit of attention. Go back to my Agrax. And we're just going to again go in over the top. almost just about there. Right? All right. We do need some edgy highlights. We need something to define some of those crisp edges. So what I'm going to do is take some of the grey. Where did you go? I gotta find the paint. With the space wolf grey here. Just tippy, tiny, tiniest scoop of white. Like teeny tiny. An edge. We're just binding all those bits that stick out the top. here, just creating a cylinder band highlight at the top. Cylinder band just on the back. Just where the sun would come down. And, okay, all right. So, pretty happy with that white. A little bit more. And then, all right. Thanks, Al. And then we'll do one more. We've got some Mephiston red. Bump up that saturation just a bit. All right, well, we'll let that dry for a sec. What we'll do is we'll do some quick yellow on that pink, just so that see how it goes. Got some yellow here. We'll let that dry. So, Chatteroni. Oh. Hydrate and eye rest. Okay. So, there you have it. That's taking a you're gonna taking a blue marine and making a better ready white marine. Hope you used 7 layers to get the gorgeous Necron green glow. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that one can do that. If you like this stuff, please press the buttons. It really helps us out. Thanks for hanging out this afternoon. We'll probably leave it at that. And we'll not going to have a hobby stream next week. These are kind of working out every fortnight at the moment. But next week we have ANZ TC on Saturday. That's looking forward to that. That's going to be absolutely awesome. Lawrence and Ed, Dr. Ed, will do a primer for that on Wednesday. Press all the buttons, like and subscribe. If you like what we do, there's a Patreon link in the video description. If you like events and want to look at some tickets, Facebook events, Risky Rollers events on Facebook, and riskyrollers.com.au to buy tickets. Yes, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time for the next project. So we did, we got some paint on and color on Mr. Necron Man, and managed a battle ready White Scars Intercessor, which is kind of cool. Hopefully enjoy that, and we'll catch you next time.